Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy, and that is Candace Dorman. Hey, Candace.
Hey, good morning, Babz. I'm so happy to be here. So good to see you.
I'm so happy to have you. Now, Candace she is the CEO of her own brand of, I want to say, I like to call them beauty products, but they're all kinds of skincare kinds of things, which I love. And I was telling them at the 9 o'clock hour, I said, you told me when I bought, because you have a big bar of soap, and you're like, cut it in half. And I did. And it lasted so much longer. I was like, oh, this is smart. I think she's a smart one. So
I'm so happy to hear that.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm really, really good. I'm thrilled to be here. And part of what you're just saying is, so it's not beauty because I don't do makeup, right? I am not a makeup girl. I've been using the same probably 5 items for the last 20 years, and I just get a new one when it needs to be replaced, right? When it's like it's past its expiration. But Echo Body is skincare, it's body care and wellness. And part of this piece that you just said about cutting the bar in half is that for me it's more than body butter. Like, this whole thing has never been just body butter. It's been about helping you take care of yourself and taking away some of the stress around it, right? And so as we move into natural products that don't have a ton of preservatives, you could run the risk of leaving your bar in the shower and it all melts away, right? And what a travesty, what a stressful moment for something that you were really excited to use. And so part of what I like to do is also add this bit of like girlfriend education, right? Which is like, I want you to come back and get more, but I also want you to have a good experience. And if this melts in your shower, you're not going to have a good experience. So I'm going to give you whatever little tips that I've learned along the way to help you have a better experience all around.
Okay, so you're not from Connecticut, are you?
I'm not. No.
So what brings you here? Because when I met you, I guess y'all just kind of arrived a little bit.
So I've been in New Haven for 9 years.
Oh my gosh.
So I've been in New Haven for 9 years, and I've been in Connecticut probably 3 years before that. So we're pushing on, 14 years that we've been here. And this was my husband and I, our middle ground. I'm from the Bronx and he's from the Boston area.
Okay.
And we met in school in Massachusetts. We went to Tufts and stayed there for quite a bit. And to be like fully transparent, I was just really jealous of being so close to his family and only getting to see mine a couple times a year, because 4 hours is a huge deal, right, to get to New York City. So this is our middle ground, and it was new to him, but it felt like home to me because I went to high school here in Connecticut, and in my neighborhood where we ended up settling, there's a director, like a retired director from my high school. There's a classmate up the street. There's a classmate's mom. So even though this isn't home for us, it felt homey.
So when did you get into the skincare wellness? Was this something you always wanted to do? Like, how did you say, you know what, I could make a better body butter, I could make a better this, I could do this is a natural thing? And did you have skincare issues that you were trying to cure? Like, what's the story?
Yeah, so I've been sort of an enterprising, entrepreneurial person for a very long time. My first job when I was 9, it was like 5th grade, was bagging bags at the grocery before we were supposed to, right? And that was literally, again, it's just in my nature to be helpful. Is we were in the grocery and we were like 6 down the line and people had so much, and I was like, Mom, I'm just gonna go help them so that we can speed along this process so we can get out. And by the time she got up, I had like $30. I didn't even know that people tipped for this. I was just trying to move the line along, right? And so by the time she got to the front, I was like, maybe I should stay. And so I did. I probably made $50 that first day, which was a lot of money for me in 1996, right? Like, it was a big deal, right? It was a lot. And I just started doing that from then. It was like, I grew up in a multi-generational, like a large family unit in one apartment. And so everybody contributed, and that's how I was able to. And I also, like, I just always had that helpful mind, but I also had the, like, go to school, go to college, go to, like, do all the things, like, straight and narrow. So I have been tinkering with entrepreneurship for a very long time. My first business was selling pocketbooks. And that's when you had to buy, like, the barriers to entry now are so little. You just sign up for Shopify and you're in. Back then, you'd buy a website and it would come to you in a folder with 92,000 files, right? And I was like, maybe this isn't for me. I can't do e-commerce. So I have been working on different things, trying to find my groove. And in early 2020, right before the closure, I was in the shower. I was showering and I couldn't get my deodorant off. You know, when you know that there's something on your skin, squeaky, 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 right? And I didn't know why. And it was very weird to me. And cause I was focused, I was like having self-care before I really understood self-care, you know? And it just felt weird. And once I get something in my head, I have to go and figure it out. And that's when I started learning about natural deodorants and preservatives and aluminum and like all the things, right? And I just got super interested in that and thought, well, maybe I can make something that would work better, because I found all these recipes online and maybe I could tweak it. And oh, by the way, I have so much shea butter from Ghana because we had just come back. We had just come back from Ghana in 2019, and my husband's Ghanaian, and I just had so much. And so I was like, maybe if I add a little of this and a little of that, we can make something work. And literally that was my first product, was a natural deodorant, and it worked so well. And I shared it with a friend and she liked it, and then someone else liked it. And that's just how it started, right? It's like one need, one problem that I found for myself. And once I had an answer, I thought it would be a travesty it's a travesty for me to hold on to information that might help other people. And so EcoBody started literally with deodorant.
So tell me about the name. Tell me about the name.
Yeah, so
there's a story for the name.
Yeah, so Echo is the name of my second son. His name is Emery Echo, and it's a Ghanaian naming tradition. Ghanaians get, they're called day names, and you get one so the day that you're born. So there's a set for girls and a set for boys. And there's also a different set for the different tribes. So when Ghanaians meet, out in the world, they can often pinpoint where they're from, or they feel a kinship because they recognize the names. And so Echo means boy born on Thursday. And again, I had so much Ghanaian shea butter. How do I make all of these things? How do I make all of these things combined? My daycare, before skincare, I had daycare. And my daycare was called Emlyn, which was Emery and Lincoln. You know how Black people do. We like to
we
add all the names.
Make our own names. Yes.
We just make our own stuff, right?
Yep.
And so that was already taken, and this felt good. The real thing is, I have had so many people say, "Oh, so it's not woke backwards," and I was like,
"Oh."
No. I appreciate that part of my personal brand is
You didn't even know you were woke.
I know. I wish I were that clever. So that's not what it is. It's Echo.
Oh, I love it. So talk to me about once you make the choice to do this. Now you have to think about packaging. You have to think about product. You have to think about getting it to market. You have to think about who is this for and the demographics. Talk a little bit, because I know this is what I find fascinating about you, because we were having this conversation about finding summer activities for the boys, and you were like, this is maddening. And the next thing I know, I see you with a whole thing you created so that no other parent would have to suffer the way you suffered. I so could have used you in my life 20 years ago.
I'm so happy to hear that. I would have loved to know you 20 years ago. Right?
Oh my God, girl. I was like, look how much time she said. And I was just sharing it to people because people were asking me. And I was like, well, I used to know, but my youngest is 20. So I don't know what they do now.
So I love that you bring that up, because again, all of this is how my brain works. Once I see a problem, an issue, a thing that I think could be handled better, could be handled differently, then I attack it full force, right? It's probably a little bit of ADHD, right? Like a hyper focus on solving this problem, because one, I don't want to deal with it again, and two, I don't want anybody else to deal with it, right? Again, it literally feels like a travesty for me to have information that could help other people and that I don't share. It feels very, very wrong, right? And so again, my whole business, my personal brand, and what I hope that people feel from the Echo Body brand is that, again, it is more than body butter. I am trying to keep women from feeling the way that I often feel, which is overwhelmed by too many choices, too much information, trying something and it doesn't work, not enough sleep, like all of those things, right? And so when I thought about this business and how to grow X Body, again, it started with body butter. But as I was thinking about other issues that I was running into, I actually had to make a decision about whether I wanted to be in the kitchen mixing products, or if I wanted to be out in the world helping people with their challenges, right? And so I decided to be the person who curates products to match like solutions that you might have for a problem. And so that's what I'm doing. So I am really out here working for the woman who's like me, is a little bougie but not flashy, right? Like, this is why the way that Echo Body looks is really nice, but it's not flashy, right? I like gold, right? We're Ghanaian, we're from Kings, but I am not over the top. And I thought for a while that meant it was like like it had something to say about my femininity, or like how girly I was if I didn't like unicorns and cotton candy, you know what I mean? But I realized that, like, I am not so special, right? Like, I am not that special that whatever challenges I'm facing or how I feel or the things that I kind of like are unique to just me, right? If I feel it, someone else feels it. And how do I embrace them so that they don't feel over here left out and like alone? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do. So tell me about the products. Tell me about what you offer.
Yeah, so I have a full line of body care and wellness products that even I was just thinking about this weekend. Like, I started with I started with deodorant, and now I have 17 individual products.
Whoa.
That are, I know, that's what I said this weekend. Echo Body is made up of 17 different products that are paired in in product groupings to help solve an issue for you and help you create new routines that are simple but powerful and easy to maintain, right?
Wow.
So when I think about how you're going to wash your face, because as my kids are 6 and 8 now, but a couple years ago, and especially in the pandemic, I was hard pressed to wash my face, right? Like, hard pressed to get the energy and the time. I didn't even know what toner was, right? Like, I don't have any more brain space to learn about anything else. I'm just trying to subsist and get through the day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's no way to live, right? Like, we need to be thriving. We need to be our best selves. We need to be confident in how we show up in the world, because that energy is palpable and you can feel it. And if you don't feel good that you've sort of taken care of you, like, how can you expect to take care of those around you? And this is when you have moms who like, their children look amazing, smartest kids on the block, well fed, totally amazing. Mom's underwear inside out. Okay? Like, I've gotten to the end of the day and I was like, has my shirt been inside out all day? Like, what is what is happening here? You know what I mean? And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I don't want anybody else to be in that space for any longer than they need to. So if that means that you meet me and treat me like your new best girlfriend, right? Who takes the time to filter through all the excess and all the extras and bring to you something that's easy for you to just go, oh, Candace said this was good and I trust her, right? Like it makes me feel so good when people trust me, because I would never do something for you that I wouldn't do for me or my sister or my bestie or my mother, right? Because I want us all to be out here at our best, right? We are so amazing. And sometimes, like, the worst thing I think is when people say, oh, you look tired. Yes, but I didn't want to look like, do you have to highlight that I look tired? Like, I thought I did something today. I tried. Like, I want people to see how well you are based on how you're taking care of yourself, right? And I want to help you take care of yourself so that you can be well, right? It's not about pretending to be well. That might have sounded like it's not makeup, it's not a facade, right? I want to help you be well, and I know that there's some challenges to getting you to do that. So that's what EchoBody is here for.
I like it. And you have some products for men. Men can use these products.
Men can use these products. So when I think about who the EchoBody person is, it's typically a woman, like it's typically me. But I have the EchoBody men's product because that woman also takes care of others, right? And so when she sees a need in her man, her brother, her dad, her friend, right? She's going to say, oh, I found this really cool thing for, like, I think this would work for you. Again, simple transferring of information to someone who needs it and might not have the wherewithal, or in men's cases, like they're not, like, there aren't little spa parties for little boys. So men don't grow up at 4 with like a silk. My boys do. My boys have black silk robes, okay? Because I want them to be the kind of men who have clean fingernails, right? Who take care of themselves, who see an issue. Like, my husband's really good at identifying if he has a skin issue and then taking a lot of time and energy to figure it out. I've met so many men who are like, I just use alcohol. I've just been using the blue stuff, like, from 1975. Like, I just use water. And I'm going, okay, and the act of spending time to figure out what your body needs on the outside, right? Like, in how you show up, is not vanity, right? It's not, it doesn't make you any less of a man. It doesn't make you vain. It doesn't make you, like, I feel like there's this idea that if you're spending time on your body, then you're taking away from other people, or you could be spending that time on others, or you could be, right? We're not taught to care for ourselves in the way that we are very, very clearly taught to give, give and do for everyone else. And then you're walking around with crusty ankles, a limp from 1976, and dry skin, right? Like, I don't want that for you. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. I do.
So yeah, these products are for men and women, but I love when a man comes into the EchoBody Lounge, which is what I like to call the pop-ups when I do events. I love that opportunity to talk with them, because I see that they have questions that they don't feel comfortable asking out in the world, right?
Yes.
And so it feels like a really wonderful exchange, that they feel comfortable in the EchoBody Lounge. They feel comfortable with me. I'm not a man. I don't have a beard, right? I don't have a penis. Like, I'm not a man, but you can get information from me that is helpful for you, right? Like, if you had someone you could go talk to, I would send you there. Like, go talk to them. But if you don't be afraid to come and get some of this information, because it's going to be good for you.
I love it. So what are your hopes and dreams for the company? Like, I mean, do you think about adding more products? How often do you think about adding products? And do you sort of look around and say, you know what, this would be good in the Echo family?
Yeah, so I do that all the time. Again, like, just this weekend, a friend of mine gave me a gift for my birthday, and it was a pocketbook that had this string inside for my keys. And I have been thinking, like, it's not a new invention, but I have been thinking about how good that has made my life, right? Being able to easily find my keys. You know what I mean? Again, solutions to little things that needle the back of your mind, like where is thing, right? So when I come across things like that, I think, how could I maybe incorporate that into EchoBody? Because the EchoBody woman, right, is trying to save the minutes that she spends digging up in her bag. But then I have to remind myself that I already have 17 products, I have 2 kids, a husband, a family, like I have stuff to do. And so I am also trying to temper myself, right? There's time. There's like, Instagram makes you think that you have to have it all together on day one and that you'll have a launch and everything will sell out right away, right? That is not how real world works, right? And they also don't show you the steps before when the bin only had 1 box in it, right? Only had 1 box to send. And so what I do is I speak a lot of future abundance onto my business. I get 1 order on the day, I put it in the biggest container, and I go straight to those things. Like make a big deal, because today it's 1, but the next day it was 3, right? And this is how I have been able to grow over the last 2 years, day by day, person by person, mostly people who share EchoBody with somebody that they love, right? When I get to meet people in the lounge, in the EchoBody lounge, it's amazing. And I love, like, I'm totally an extrovert. I love it so much. But the best thing is when someone comes in again and says, someone gave this to me, right? Someone tried this, liked it, saw that I had a need, and gave it to me. And that's how EchoBody gets much further than I could even imagine it going. Right?
Oh, I love it.
Meet so many people.
I love it. I love it. So that means you have to spend some time figuring out the best places to put your product, the best places to show up for a pop-up. I mean, I think it's important for people to understand that, you don't just wake up one day and be like, okay, I think I'm gonna do that. Like, there's a whole planning process to this.
There is. And last fall was my very first pop-up. I just was looking through my list. And I think it was September was my very first pop-up at Westville Arts Market, which is here in Westville Village. They have been so good to me, that community of artists here in Westville and in New Haven at large. I am not from here, but I feel so included and loved on, and the women in this community are so amazing. Like, you can't even say enough kind things about how generous the women in the New Haven business world are, and that they help you see yourself in a way that you couldn't have seen yourself before, So meeting people like you, meeting my first retail partner was Bloom, Alicia, over at
Really?
That was my very first, right? And again, having another woman sort of look at you and say, oh, this is dope, right? And you're like, really? I really wanted it to be, you know what I mean? And you just sit up a little bit taller every single time. And I have just been so grateful and so blessed to meet so many wonderful women in this area. And so I turn around and try to do the same thing, right? When we hosted a block party in our neighborhood a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I saw the pictures.
The Beaver Hills block party.
I used to be in that neighborhood for 20 years, right? So I know it well. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And this was the first time that we did vendors, and we had a couple vendors who were brand new, right? Again, brand new to selling in this, like at a pop-up they had recently started. And so I do what I can. Here's the tent that I bought. Here are the weights that I get. Here's what I try to make sure that I have on the day. Don't forget this. Make sure you have that, right? Like, I don't like to hoard information. I like to collect information, and then I like to give it freely, because when you win, I win, they win. A rising tide lifts all boats, right? Like, a rising tide lifts all boats.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what are your other endeavors? Because, I mean, you seem to be one of these people that can do a great many things and do them well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so generous to say. Thank you. So again, I'm always thinking about the whole Ecobody woman. And so everything that I do, again, is stuff that I like, and I just assume I'm going to find the people who like it too. And so that's why I think about skincare and wellness. Wellness is sort of a general term. I'm still figuring out exactly where in there that I fit. But one of the things that I really love to do is audio work. I had a podcast for a couple of years before the pandemic. And so over the last couple months, I've recorded what I call mindful story times. I literally pulled stories off of our shelf and read them and put them to music and put them on YouTube, right? It's probably under Candace Dorman on YouTube. And my goal there was this woman that I know has picked up the Ecobody Relief Balm, has like slathered their kid with the body butter and is trying to get them to go to sleep, needs this, right? Which is this beautiful music to play right, for their kid to help them get to sleep after they've already read 2 books and the kid is like, 1 more, right? And they're like, oh, here, I have books for you. I can play these for you, right? And when I do something like that, I think again about my own experience, the stories that we used to listen to, they would put up cartoons and I'm fighting with the kids to watch the show, right? It's not a show, it's bedtime. It's too bright, the room is so bright. Like I tone all of that stuff down. There's just a plain, like you saw the tree, there's nothing more. That's the only thing that's happening here, right? I put it to music, it's melodic, right? It starts high, it gets them. I fall asleep by the time I'm done listening to the playlist, right? So where I can use my creative talents, which to be 100%.
I don't know why, Candace.
I
you have
know.
to stop saying that because you are extremely talented and creative.
Thank you. But
very creative.
We often pay attention to, fine art, right? And even with making, right? That I was feeling my own wavering because I don't hand make the products, right? But I quickly learned that in this world, there are makers and there are sellers, right? And there are people who connect the people to the things that are already there. And yes. So if I can find products that are already amazing, right? Like if I can find someone else whose magic is in the mixing, then I can use my magic, which is in the pairing and the getting you to see that you need this to merge the 2 things together. So that's what I do. Yeah. But you asked earlier about my hopes and dreams for Ecobody. Like I was thinking this weekend, it's dream bigger, right? Like dream so big that it seems ridiculous. Like when I think about wellness, I think about, I would love to have an Ecobody wellness center, right? Come here. You don't know what you need? Come here. I will help you find it, right? Because not everybody needs clinical grade skincare, right? Some people need Accutane. Not everybody needs Accutane. But a lot of people don't know when they're at that point where they need, right? Everybody thinks they need to go directly to the medical grade stuff when they probably could have a little bit of success here, right? Mm-hmm. There are stages to body care and wellness, just like there's stages to everything else. And you can start here with some powerful natural products that are that have been caring for the world, curing the world, right? When we were closer to the forest, before people took it away from us and called it witchery, right? Like we were close to the stuff and we were finding comfrey. And my mom said she got cut. My mom's from Belize. She got cut by a machete. And before they could get to the hospital, the like farm hand or whatever pulled a leaf, mashed it up in his mouth, slapped it on her leg, right? Wrapped it up with a shirt, like, some real like in the woods stuff, right? In the bush, we call it in the bush, before she could get to the hospital, right? And that's probably what saved her leg. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
These things that we're using, shea butter, jojoba, argan, like all of these things, they come from the forest where we were.
And I find people I feel like people are gravitating back toward that.
Yeah.
People are wanting more of natural, without all the things in it that we can't pronounce, we can't spell. Right. People
don't know what it's
they
for.
Want this. Yes, we don't know what it's for. And then when we find out what it's for, we're like, what?
And the thing is that we don't know exactly what it's for, But our grandmothers, like my grandmother has had an aloe plant for years. I didn't even know. She used to say aloe vera, aloe vera. I didn't know how to spell. I didn't know it was two words. I didn't know what, you know what I mean? Like there's just information that is passed down that you absorb, right? And you don't know why, but it works. And so you don't question it. And that's great. But we've lost some of that connection. And so for those of us who are out trying to reconnect people to that there is a place where you can start before you need to go to some people need the stronger stuff, but not everybody does. And it's that point of information and getting people to actually be able to identify where they are on the spectrum that I like to be.
Yeah.
So when I think about people ask me, again, I'm grateful that this is part of my personal brand. People ask me all kinds of things. And I'm just like, why do you think I know that? I do. Well, why did you think I knew that? Right? Like, why do you call me when your car breaks down? Like I had a woman, like an auntie called me and she was like, my car. And I was like, why do you think, like, why didn't you call AAA? I had the charger. It's like this little tiny thing that literally just restarts your car. And she was right around the corner. So I went and I did the thing. And she was like,
that's why I called you, because you know how to do stuff.
So I'm really happy to have found this space where I can thrive in that way. And the thing on business, right, is the execution and making sure. So my goal is to build a team, right? To get a team who can be at the pop-ups, who can help me package, who can help me identify, like all of that stuff, so that I can continue to flourish as this person who enjoys finding information, learning new things, and then repackaging it in a way that you find helpful, so that you don't have to spend hours and hours scrolling. Like I hate the scroll, because by the time I've scrolled, I've found 16 other things that I may or may not have needed, and I still haven't answered the question that I set out to answer, which is how I have all that information.
I love it. I think the thing that I dig most about you is that you always seem unbothered and unflustered. Like you just seem to be the most calm and collected woman. And I think I'm that way too. Not too many things rile me up to the point where I'm just like out there flailing. But every time I see you, you just always seem to be in your own groove. And it's just a beautiful thing to see a Black woman that actualized. I just love it. So when I see you out there and you just like, and you just do the things, I was like, wow, look at her. Like she's just, you don't seem flustered. I love it.
I appreciate that. I get flustered. I tell my sons often, like, I am trying to be the best mom that I can be. I promise you I am. You're making it a little bit challenging for me right now. So I really am just trying to be the best me that I could be. And for a long time, I wasn't sure what that was, right? And I wasn't sure. And I wasn't sure that this was okay because of the sort of the straight and narrow path that I had been put on, right? You do this, you go, you work for now, you go to work, right? And it wasn't working for me, right? I was in corporate America. Like I've been fired before. Like it wasn't working for me. And I thought that was a failure, right? I thought that was, how can I make myself twist like, so that I can be successful here. And what I just realized in the last 5 years is that I can't, like, and I don't want to, and I don't know who that person is, and I don't think I enjoy being that person. And so why continue to try when I could do this, right? And so that's when I opened a daycare. Again, I don't know, but I was just trying to be the best mom I could be. And all of a sudden there were all these play dates at my house and it looked like a daycare, right? So I just want to thrive. I just want to thrive. I want to be happy. I want my children to be happy. I want my children to see me happy, right? I want to give something to them. My sister was buying a house and she was like, do you want to give to the house fund? And I was like, who do you think we are, right? Like, do we have some, like, what? But I want that from my children, right? Like, I can't give it to my sister now, But I would like that for my children. My Emery said to me, he said, when I get old enough, can I be your assistant? And I was like, yes, yes. I want you to feel connected to this. He says things to people like, so you know Echo Body? And I go, I don't think so. But to him, everybody knows Echo Body. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I love that so much for us and for him and for them and for what I'm hoping to be able to hand to them one day. And if it's not that they want to do Echo Body because they grew up with it and kids never want to do the things their parents want to do, it's that they see that there are different paths for them. And yes, I'm going to put them on the path to college because I went to boarding school and then college, and like, you do it, but know that there are some options. So right now they want to open a Pokemon school. I'm like, all right, let's spend the next couple months thinking about what it would take to open up a Pokemon school so that you just feel like the world is open to you, right? Like that you can actually do anything, because oftentimes we don't actually feel like we can do anything. We feel like we have to do these things or else we won't be successful.
I certainly enjoyed having you on. It's been a long time in the making. I'm so glad you had time to come on and share your story and echo woke backwards. And now I'm going to see it every time I see it. I'm like, oh, now I
see it every time you see it. Yes. So next for me is Echo Body is skincare and wellness, but I do have, as part of the Echo Body line, is a CBD relief cream.
Yes.
So next for me is really helping people to learn more about CBD and how it can be helpful. There's so much tied up in the history and our experiences with marijuana and anything remotely related to. Even my mom was like, are you sure I'm gonna get high? I don't, right? And again, as people come into the Echo Body Lounge and they see these products, I'm able to have conversations that help to demystify some of this, right? So many times people are in the lounge saying, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I thought this. Oh, I didn't know that, right? Like, and so you're making decisions for or against something that could help you based on hearsay or like generalized information from other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it is not the main part of Echo Body, but it is a solution that I can't let go of because it's helped me. My husband, he just said, ooh, I feel good, right? Like, ooh, I can move this on, right? Like, why do we sit in discomfort and accept that this just is, oh, my skin is dry. Oh, I just have dry. My skin just feels that way. No, that's not how it's supposed to feel, right? Like, we shouldn't normalize discomfort and pain to the point where we give up trying to fix it. And so that's why I always say relief is a gift, because you don't know how much pain you're sitting in until you get out of it.
Absolutely.
Like, oh.
I know it firsthand. So
yeah, so that's my goal, is to get people to let go of routines that aren't serving them, to take up new ones that are, and feel how good it feels to know that you washed your face. Your skin feels good. Your pain is gone, right? That you're showing up as your best and true self, and that the world is better for it.
Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you out there
in the world. Thanks for letting me invite myself on.
Oh no, listen, the invitation was always extended, girl, always. And I want you to come back. So
yes. When we've got something new going, when the holiday season comes, we've got some fun stuff.
Yes.
I've got some really fun stuff planned. I was saying earlier that I'm a classic girl, but I'm testing out some fancy scents. I call it like a little sauce, right? Just like a little sauce.
I like it. I like a little luxury.
Yes, for sure.
I like a little luxury, girl. Black is luxury, so I'm all here for it. So
well, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for this platform that you've created that makes space for people like me, for entrepreneurs, for people who are trying to make the world a better place. Thanks for giving us a place to shine.
You are welcome. Come back anytime. I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Nora. And I'll be back tomorrow. I have another guest tomorrow, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But right now, we are enjoying Candace Dorman and Echo Body, which I'm a huge fan of. So
Yes, thank you. So you can find me on the socials
yes,
at Echo Body, or see, I almost forgot to. I got my notes over here. Or at echobody.com. And that's
yes,
EKOWBODY, Echo Body.
I love it.
And it's
Love it.
echo like the sound, not ecow.
Yes, you know, and I think I pronounced it like that, but
That's
now I
okay.
got it. I got it. I got it. Echo Body. Got it.
People learn. People
Yes,
learn.
I love to learn, girl. So I will see y'all. We are leaving these streets, and I'll see y'all in the streets. Y'all have a good day and stay dry or get wet, whatever. It's the rainy day in the elm. So I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Nora. Play us out. Okay, somebody's manning the ship today.
Somebody's gonna do the thing.
Yeah, somebody's gonna do the thing.
I love it.
So Nora is learning to be our assistant
Producer?
to Harry, so
Nice.
that Harry could like actually not be on 24/7. So yeah,
Very cool.
so she's learning how to work all the bells and whistles. So we're just gonna dip out. We're not gonna wait for the music. We're gonna bounce.
Okay. All right. Until next time. Bye.
Yes, my dear. Take good care.
You too. You want me to click out?
Yes, go ahead. Yes. All right. All right. There's no music. I'm leaving. Goodbye.